Hi, this is Farhad Hafezi from the ELSA Institute in Zurich, Switzerland, and thank you very much for the kind invitation. I will speak about cross-linking in ultra-thin corneas. I think this is the most noteworthy update for 2022. These are my financial interests. Now, we all know cross-linking a 400 micron cornea is easy, but what do you do when you're facing a very thin cornea? Let's look at established protocols from the past. Cross-linking very thin corneas started in 2009 with the treatment methodology that we developed here in Zurich using swelling of the cornea with hypoosmolaric riboflavin. A few years later, Susan Jacob suggested to put a contact lens on thin corneas. Do I use any of these methods today? No, I don't. Why not? Let me show you. I do not use the method that we established ourselves and that has been a standard, I think the most commonly used globally for the past 15 years. I do not use it because the cross-linking effect is good. Wollensak published on this 2 years ago, but the amount of swelling is not predictable. As you can see here, some corneas swell a lot, others don't. And surprises are never a good thing during surgery. Why don't I put a contact lens on the eye? The reason is you lose 30% of efficacy. And we published on this 6 years ago already. You lose efficacy because even the best contact lens blocks part of the oxygen that is needed for cross-linking. In other words, until now, we had a protocol for 400 micron corneas, and if the cornea was too thin, well, we thought about how can we adapt the tissue to my protocol? Swell it, put a contact lens on it. And the future is what we call the sub-400 protocol. Instead of adapting the tissue to the protocol, we should adapt the protocol to the tissue. Just imagine being a cataract surgeon and say, no matter which lens, I always use the same phaco settings. No, you adapt to the tissue. Soft lens, different settings, very hard lens, different settings again. So we should do the same for various thickness corneas, ultra-thin corneas. How does this work? We first developed an algorithm and published it 5 years ago in the JRS. And based on this algorithm, we developed a clinical protocol that is standardized, always the same. It is an epi-off protocol, so you perform the appraisal, you apply your riboflavin, measure thickness with an ultrasound pachymeter, and this thickness you take to adapt your fluence. You find the paper published in the American Journal, and if you look at the table in the paper, you see measuring the thickness, let's say a thickness of 280 micron of stroma tells you need 5 minutes at 3 milliwatts. We always chose 3 milliwatts for this protocol because everybody has a 3 milliwatt cross-linking device, so it is the most democratizing access to the technology. If you're looking for this table, please have a look here. You will find the preprint, which is open access. The results of these clinical studies were really good and surprisingly high success rate of almost 90%, even in corneas as thin as 214 micron. And this is why we also were the very first able to perform cross-linking in keratoglobus, 220 micron of thickness. You will find the report here. As I said, you can use any cross-linking technology, but in the case of the CI device by Imagine, the device that I helped develop, the whole protocol, the algorithm is already integrated into the machine, so it makes it very easy for you to apply the correct total fluence. Does it make sense to cross-link such thin corneas? I get this question quite often. I would say yes, because with modern scleral lenses, visual rehabilitation is extreme. Look at this case of a residual thickness of a little more than 100 micron, no visual acuity with glasses, and with a scleral lens, you get up to 20/30. So in conclusion, the future in ultra-thin corneas is the sub-400 protocol, individualized cross-linking. Treatments down to 200 micron are possible, and they can be performed using all cross-linking technology, or like in this case, even at the slit lamp. Thank you for your attention. Please visit my Instagram profile for more updates.